Welcome to the CK podcast here on the Basketball Zone YouTube channel. I'm your host, Leo Beers, and we got our co-host today, Kenyon, coming from Canada. We the North was not a thing tonight, man, because we the North got flamed by a Joel Embiid-less 76ers who played very well as a team. Tyrese Maxey flamed the hell out of Gary Trent Jr. and the entire Raptors squad for a career high 44 points. Lots of bad memories from the playoffs where he put up 39, I believe. And tonight he was spectacular. Gary Trent, we'll get into that. We got some footage to prove it, not just because we understand that he's very polarizing in the Raptors community where it's a split. Either you love him or you hate him. There is no in-between with this guy. I personally do not enjoy watching him play basketball, but that's just me, and we'll get into that. Fred VanVleet did not have a stellar game. Siakam had a very good game, but 5 turnovers. It's a little bit too much for my liking. But Kenyon, 112-90. What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, we the North shot a little bit like it was winter here, and but it's not. Not yet. It's still warm. I went outside, just like this, and I was fine. But I guess for some guys, it's they're maybe getting a little stiff in the elbow.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know what happened to Fred, but what I will say is that first play that I think I showed you, Gary Trent, the first play of the game for anyone who actually watched today, and shout out to Chad B, by the way.
Facts.
The first play told me everything that we were up for this game, where Gary Trent took the ball, like literally tried to do a Steve Nash impression while everyone is, sitting around waiting. And then it was a pseudo hook shot against a bigger, longer defender and a miss.
Maybe the 76ers, maybe one of the players saw the headline that we did on the last video and they were like, well, we're not worse than the Raptors. And he took it to heart, right? Like they must be watching you, Kenyon.
Maybe it's that, what is the football player? We're not done. We're not done. We're not done.
No, it was a tough game to watch. Obviously, it's never a good thing when the team as a whole, they went 9, check this number out, 9 of 39 from beyond the arc. That's tough. That's tough to overcome, man, because that's 23.1%. And 0 of 8, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., 2 of 7, Scottie Barnes, spectacular, 3 of 4, OG, 2 of 7, and Siakam, 1 of 3. But Gary Trent Jr., man, before we get into him, your thoughts on Fred VanVleet's game?
Let's hold on before.
Right. Save the last for best.
Or the best. Yeah.
A little bit of a tongue twister there.
My thoughts on Freddie VanVleet. I thought that his shots overall from 3 were the right shots to take. I thought that his shots from inside the arc, as usual, were not the right ones to take. And this is part of the problem that I have with Fred at times, which is why I'm glad that his shot totals have come down overall. My issue with Fred is that I think that sometimes when the team is struggling, he feels the need to take it upon himself and vaunt us back into contending in a particular game. And whenever he takes it inside and does that sort of thing, it just does not work. 0 of 11 is pretty depressing.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing, yes. 1 point, 34 minutes, 0 of 8 from 3. Do you feel like sometimes he just settles too much for that 3-point shot?
This season, he's been a lot better at picking his spots. This game was one where I think when he struggles early on with his shot, he seems to want to impact the game, and I think that plays to what you're saying.
Yeah, he's just I felt like tonight he was trying to hit the home run ball because they were behind and they played from behind for most of the game. And when they got it to what was it, 8, 10?
Yeah, they got it within 10
Right. And
a couple
then
times in that
the
third quarter.
76ers had a response every single time. PJ Tucker taking
Yeah.
charges. And then James Harden, making his end one. James Harden finished with 11 points. But again, Tyrese Maxey, man, 44 points. That is just crazy. PJ Tucker, not great box score numbers. He's a plus 15. But the guy he makes winning plays. And that's what they've been missing. So
Yeah.
I know it's a lot easier to, and actually it's kind of hard to game plan when you don't have Embiid, unless it's like for an entire series and it's different. But when it's a
Well,
one game
especially
off, right,
when you find out he's gone like what, an hour before the game.
right, and that makes it very difficult for a team to game plan. But that was a little bit of a shock, and I've always said it. Teams,
Yeah.
other guys step up when the star player is out for 1 or 2 games. But if that player misses an extensive time, that's when you'll start seeing like, okay, they're not that good without him. And tonight was the exception. They needed a win. They were embarrassed the other night, Wednesday night, and they took it to the Raptors, man. So you got to give the 76ers a lot of credit. They're 2-4. When we watched the film on the last video, when you talked about it in your 3 takeaways, those mother hovers would literally jog back on defense to where Scottie Barnes had so much time to just make such an easy pass in transition. It just seems like they don't want to play for Doc Rivers, but tonight they played extremely hard. I I
Yeah.
I don't get this team. Maybe it's a lack of leadership and how bipolar they are, because those things, when you don't get back on defense, when you're jogging back, that's a bad sign, right?
It's a very bad sign. And so if I pivot to the 76ers really quickly, I
Yeah.
do think, credit to them for the win. I do think that they won the game in 2 quarters specifically, which was the second and the fourth, where they outscored the Raptors 37-22, and that right there built the lead. That was just too much to overcome. The 76ers, I think I told you before when the season started, or before the season started, I don't believe in them as a team, because they're just too up and down. I understand that there is some frustration with Doc. I would be afraid if they shifted to a D'Antoni led offense, because I don't think that D'Antoni is going to put Joel Embiid in the position to be able to succeed on that team.
That's interesting. It's an interesting idea to even think about him um,
Yeah.
right now, but maybe a guy that nobody's talking about.
In
That's
May? No.
that's well, no, that's wild. But a guy on the bench for that team is Dave Yeager, a guy that's been there, done that,
Hide
and
your kids, hide
obviously,
your wife. Sorry.
yeah, right, facts. And he's recovering. Obviously, he made a strong recovery from cancer.
Yeah.
And I feel like he would be a good candidate to take over that team if and when. I think it's only a matter of time before Doc gets fired, especially if they continue to play at this type of level. But let's kind of break down some of the stuff that makes me very upset when I watch Gary Trent here. As we see a dribble handoff.
Is that the very first play?
Yes, it's the very first
Yeah.
play,
Oh,
down
man.
3-0.
Why you gotta do this to me, man?
Yeah, man. Nice little dribble handoff. He does a very good job of sealing Tyrese Maxey, right? Uses his body well. He jump
And
stops.
look, stagnant.
He
Stagnant offense.
pivots. He pivots back. Great footwork. And then he proceeds with a dong, dong. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bunny. I'll say this. I thought for him that was a very good move. He just has to finish it. But those are the things that that just frustrate you from him because he gets shot happy, and when you're a chucker like him, that really does disrupt a lot of the flow. But
So
yes,
if you go back to the 5 second mark on that clip and just pause right on the 5 second mark, you will see exactly what my issue is with Gary as a lead offense. So yeah, and even a second before that, but that's fine. Like you see how many guys are around him, right? Someone's open.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, like he could
Yeah,
have
and
kicked out right here, jump stop here, which he did, right?
yep.
Boom. And maybe he could have just bounced it back out to Freddie for a three. But at the same time, I'm not mad at at his shot. I'm mad that he didn't make the shot because how many times would he miss that shot realistically?
A lot. I've seen him a
He
lot.
said a lot. He said a lot. Oh,
Like this, my issue with Gary is he doesn't like to. He is driving more this season, so kudos to him for doing that. That was a huge gripe that I had before, but now that he's driving, it's like he always drives into like multiple defenders, and it's like okay, you're a tough shot maker, but why make your life tougher? Like why do that to
so
yourself?
here he does the exact same thing, a little bit tougher, better defense, and this time he makes it. So he's making the tougher shots that are less efficient, right, than the ones that he should be making. I think that's part of the problem there. But credit to him there. Here we
Yeah.
see Siakam in transition and a miss there. Second chance opportunity here to Gary Trent. I felt like in that situation right here, that just goes back to his bad habits. Like, there's no need for him to shoot this shot because you have to be able to read this defender. He could have just easily pump faked, blown by him, easy floater, easy mid range shot, or even a layup, or even a if James Harden steps up, which he probably won't because he doesn't like playing defense. He's allergic to it. He could have just dropped it off here for a Scottie Barnes for an easy dunk. And it's situational awareness, right? Where
Yeah.
you don't have to shoot this shot. Like,
Yeah, so Gary, in many ways, reminds me of a Raptor. I don't know if you watched the Raptors back then, but like Terrence Ross.
oh yeah,
Um,
I love,
he
but off the bench.
yeah, but back then he wasn't on the bench, right? And people thought I don't know how closely you followed Raptors media back then, but people thought there were if you look online today and Google after this show, you can find Terrence Ross being suggested to be take over for DeMar DeRozan.
Jeez,
No word of a lie. And the thing is
who
that
said that? Let's flame them right now.
I can't remember who wrote the article, but it was like a major article.
Oh
Like, like,
jeez,
like this was not like some obscure
yeah.
article. The thing is that like Gary is very, very streaky, and
This is a good shot within the flow of the offense. Like I am
mhm,
a-okay with this, right? Like
yep.
you and the process, the result, that's a good shot.
Compare last game to to this game in terms of Gary's shots, and you will see that Gary, all of Gary's shots. Yeah, he took 16 shots. I didn't have a problem with him taking 16 shots because it was all within the flow of the offense. That was good, Gary, right? And I don't mind him taking tough shots here and there, but not to the extent that he's making it. I don't think he has the lateral quickness to do it.
No,
And
he loves
and
the jump stop here, huh? Like a lot. And
he
that's a really tough shot.
right. Right, like the one other thing, and I want to credit James. Actually, he messaged me with this, and I think he's
Oh, I
gonna join late.
hated this shot. I hated this shot, by the way. But at the same time, he
Yeah.
kind of had to shoot the shot. Um,
So James credit. I'm gonna credit James with this, who just tuned in, and he pointed out a good thing, and him and I went back and forth and discussed this a couple times. But the Raptors right now need a solid playmaker off the bench, and that is one thing that we are lacking
Most
consistently.
teams do, though.
Most teams do like have one or need one. You mean?
Need one, for sure.
Yes. Yes,
Because
yes,
there's like a
yes.
drastic drop off, right? Like very few teams have a Tyus Jones where I'm like, you know what, John Morant, sit your little ass on the bench and just relax because Tyus Jones is a stud. Like
Yeah.
not many teams have a Tyus Jones though.
Yes, and so and that's fine, right? But the Raptors do have higher aspirations. Not saying than the Memphis Grizzlies, but like than some of these teams, right? Like we're not Washington, so at least I hope
Right.
not. So, so like
Again,
for
like
me,
this shot right here is just like why? Like just
yeah,
swing the ball,
yeah,
swing the ball. There's 14 seconds left on the shot clock.
yeah. I've seen him look off
Eh,
from OG, Siakam, and sometimes Fred as well. There's just like there's a lot of times when like he will just take that and go with it. And I do agree with I'm not going to try to pronounce this person's name, but the fact that Fred Van Vliet was not hitting any shots. I actually covered that earlier in this thing, but yeah, it was a big reason why we were not successful. But yeah,
he loves
this
the middle, huh?
that's it. This is Gary's game. This is Gary's game. That's why he's streaky, right? Because it's like either you hit it or you don't, right? And if you're hitting it, it looks cool. It's
Yeah.
working good. But yeah, and I agree with Mind win. Yeah, the I expected that this game would be. Did I say the name wrong?
No, I'm just saying, like, like, why are you falling for?
Oh,
he
okay, I
didn't even
apologize.
get
Yeah.
touched. Okay, I'm sorry.
Um, no, no, no,
I'm
that's
blaming him
okay.
too hard.
The that's funny. The I think that the thing is that I expected Philly to come out and really play hard with this specific game because they got whooped last game. They did.
Right.
Um, but I expected the Raptors, and the Raptors did fight back. It's just they didn't have the gas to get it going. And that second, you can't let someone put almost 40 points on you in a quarter because it's just like it's done. It's hard to
Yeah.
unless you're keeping up. They don't have. They have the offensive juice to keep up with a regular scored team, but not with 40 points in a quarter. Most teams don't. So I'm not like I know some Raptors fans will freak out or whatever and oh my gosh the sky is falling. It's not, but I think number one, this team needs Otto Porter because he will help with some of settling down that bench unit. He's out with personal reasons, so shout out to his family. I hope he's doing well.
Right.
But also, yeah, this was just not the best game for the Raptors overall. We did have. I do want to talk about some of the positives. So
There he
it's not
goes
just all
again,
negative.
bro. Like,
You know,
really? Like, why? It's such a contested. Like, you're making James Harden legitimately look like he's playing defense.
this is why I only view a couple of Gary's shots all the
Yeah,
time.
go ahead.
'Cause
He's.
yeah, no. You get sucked into it, and it's just like, oh, this is rough to watch.
What are you?
Uh, so yeah, I think OG was a lot more assertive, finding cuts, finding his spots in this game. I think he did a much better job of being more assertive this game. Unfortunately, was with a loss, and I think that again, Siakam. He tuned down his shot total, but he played a good game. I think overall he was fine. Like
Mhm.
I mean, again, we just talked before. I wouldn't put this on the plus minus stuff too much, but I do think he had the highest plus minus of all the guys who played major minutes. So yeah, I think going back to the thing, the Raptors definitely do need a bench contributor who can play make. I don't care if it's specifically a guard or not, but they need a bench playmaker who is a contributor.
Is there
I have a
anybody that
couple.
comes to your? Okay, go ahead.
No. Yeah, set up
No,
the question.
I mean, no, I'm just thinking like who is that person? Because we have to be
Yeah,
realistic. Like, what assets do the Raptors have? Who can they give up?
yeah.
Um,
Bogey. No,
well,
I mean like, yeah,
I
yeah.
knew that one was coming.
That's one of them, but I have other guys that I have suggested. So the off the top of my head, there are a few guys. So one interesting guy would be DeLon Wright, although I know he's
I love
out right
Delon, right?
now.
Yeah.
he's a former Raptor as well.
Yeah, he
I
is.
really like his game. I like a lot about his game, and his shot has really come in to focus and has been really well over the past year and a half. So like shout out to that. Yes. Shout out to the chat, by the way. Josh Primo, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that he was waived today. I don't know if he should.
No,
Yeah. You didn't see that?
they waived. Why?
I don't know.
They
I don't know.
drafted a man number 12 and waived him.
Yeah, he's a Canadian too, by the way.
Bro, that's the perfect pickup too for the Raptors.
Broken news on this podcast.
I didn't even know that. That's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. This was right before the game, actually.
I know so many people that had
shout out
such
to the
high stock in him. Like they're so high on this kid.
I was hopeful for him too, but like, yeah. I need to find out why they waived him because that's pretty sudden. It's pretty.
Yes, it's almost like he did something like
right would be white
off the court.
Yeah.
Right. So that's okay. So you got Bogey. You got who else?
So
Dylan Wright.
Dylan Wright. One interesting person. I'm undecided. I keep going back and forth, but I would say maybe Jordan Clarkson. I'd have to study his game a little bit closer, but he is an interesting.
Well, he's a complete
guy.
opposite. He's literally Gary Trent Jr.
He's Gary Trent Jr. with better defense and like hypothetically with more experience to be more in control. But like, yeah,
Better defense is like this.
It's 22nd percentile versus 30th percentile. So
right.
They're both bad, but like
right,
better. One is better.
I think Gary Trent Jr. is a better 3-point shooter though. Like
actually, true shooting percentage goes to Jordan Clarkson.
No, I'm talking about 3-point percentage.
That's a good question.
I know Clarkson does not shoot a high percentage from three. I know for a fact. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what it is, but I've seen that man shoot his whole life. Like, he is a mid-range bucket getter.
Well, this year he's shooting 42.
What about the year before?
We're not going to talk about that.
Say.
Why you gotta bring up the past like that? Leave the man alone.
I know. Shout out to my Filipino
I knew
family.
Someone was gonna bring up. Really? Shout out Kai Soto.
Facts.
Logic is a good fan.
Maybe Primo was dumped for an issue like abuse or drug. I mean, that's kind of what I'm figuring. Like he's so young. He the youngest player in in that class.
Yeah, other than Kuminga, of course. I think.
I think he's younger than Kuminga by a little bit.
Because Kuminga was because Primo went to school, Kuminga did not. Kuminga went straight to the G League.
Yeah.
At age 17. So yeah, but it's probably like within a couple months.
Right.
Conley.
Conley
is interesting.
That's a great option, as a matter of fact.
Here's the issue with Conley.
A lot of money.
The questions that I would have with it. Number one, the money, but it's going to be expiring soon, so it's not like a forever contract.
But how do you pick up so many salaries to match them? That's a lot of money.
So. Yes, so from that standpoint, what do you give up for Conley, and is it worth it to get? Because like most likely, you're looking at
a first-round pick.
Well, even beyond that, like you're looking at like, okay, do you give up Gary Trent because Gary Trent would be a major salary to potentially go? I don't know if I would do that. I'm just gonna say that right now. I don't think that is. I'm not the biggest Gary Trent fan, but I don't know if I would do that. There are other ways to get there, but I'd have to sit down and like get back to you. But
it's hard, and
hard.
I think that's the big challenge for a guy like Mike, because teams are gonna want to add him without giving up a major player or a rotational player, right? They're gonna want to give up like guys at the end of the bench, but guys at the end of the bench don't equate to X amount of money that he makes. So sure, give up your draft capital. I mean, the Raptors gave up a first-round pick for, what's his name last year? for that. So
They swapped. They swapped a pick because that's how they got Koloko.
so they're willing to like give
Mhm.
up, right, some like draft capital.
Yeah, but at that point, it's like I see. That's the thing. I think that there's better assets that you can get and that will become available if you're looking at giving up draft capital for this year's draft, right?
But we're talking about it like the Raptors, the Kings. Like there's so many teams that need a playmaker, whether
Oh,
that
is he
be
younger than?
whether that be a point guard or like you said, just a playmaker. Mike Conley is a point guard, which makes a lot of sense as the backup of Fred VanVleet. But man, it's hard with him. But do you think about a guy like Bojan Bogdanovic from the Pistons who will probably get a first round pick for him?
Okay, sorry. So you're gonna have to repeat that. I got distracted with this figuring out that that Primo's younger than Kaminga. Uh,
Is he?
yeah, apparently. So my bad, my bad.
Wow, that's
Um,
crazy.
but yeah, sorry. What the
Bojan
question was?
Bogdanovic will probably the Pistons will probably get a first round pick for him. I know he's 34,
Why
but
why? But they just traded for him. Why would they trade him away?
oh, because they're just trying to get an asset because they're tanking for a Wemby.
No, but the Pelicans are gonna get Wemby.
Breaking
With the
news.
the
Breaking news
Lakers.
for sure, bro. That's
No.
true. If the Lakers fans in the top three, right? That pick, or is it top two?
I it might even be unprotected. I'd have
Holy shit!
they have unrestricted rights to swap for that Lakers pick this year. That is the coverage. So
Okay, so Mike Conley, Delon Wright. Who's your third?
I mean Bogdanovich is actually my third, but not that Bogdanovich, the one from Atlanta.
Right.
But we don't have to chat about him today. I don't know. What do you have anyone that you can think of in terms of it doesn't have to be a guard, but like ideally a guard?
I don't know of many playmaking bench players that are available that are not on a good team. You know, I'm trying to think like who might be
That's the
available.
problem.
I think you got to look at all the teams that are going to look to tank, which there will be. Oh well, take that. Utah has a in the
Sabonis? I'm just kidding.
yeah. He'd be amazing on the Raptors. Uh, I think a guy like it's super interesting that would fit or that would cover up some of the shooting woes that the Raptors have
Yeah.
is Laurie Marketing. 7 feet. He's been playing out of his mind. I think he'd be a spectacular fit, really, on any team because anyone needs a 7 foot 3 point sniper who has game offensively. Like I would love Laurie Marketing.
Yeah, so the problem with him is that again it comes down to the Raptors value defense, and if you can't play defense, we've seen okay, Patrick McCaw is a perfect example of this. So
But Gary Trent's on the
Raptors,
team. Like you must
so
not value defense that much.
well, but they value defense enough, right? So my thing is like
Yeah, but you
Gary
have
Trent,
elite defenders. Like you can
yeah,
cover up his mistakes.
but the Raptors defense and how they actually play their defensive style, you need everyone to be relatively locked in most of the time
My only
because
rebuttal to that is that when you're 7 feet tall, you shrink the basketball floor, and when you shrink the basketball floor, it's harder to score on you. So to his
do you
advantage,
remember
he's seven
Andrea
feet tall.
Bargnani?
Yeah, but he's not that bad though. Like Laurie
I'm not
Marketing,
saying he's that bad. I'm just saying like
but like
being
Laurie
7 feet is
Marketing
one
played
thing.
on a good defensive team last year, and he was a big part of it because they had 3 7-footers shrink the floor, which they did the complete opposite of what everybody else did. So to your point, you got Scottie Barnes, OG Siakam, Laurie. Holy cow! Like, and you got elite shooting with that. I think that's a great fit, man. I think he would solve a lot of issues for the Raptors.
Yeah,
Spacing
so
issues.
he'd be interesting. I'd have to see if he can play the right positions, and I'd have to look at his defense more. So it is possible. I'm not going to write it off completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's the thing. It's like I do think that there is going to be a team that is going to come available that is just going to enter the tank race, and we're going to find that out by December.
Yeah.
Um, and we're not thinking of it right at this exact moment, but it's going to be some other team that we're not thinking of, and some player that's otherwise Josh Primo.
James
um,
says I don't get it, but he plays Gary Trent. Let me see. He plays him 33 minutes, so he must not like shooters, right? At the end of the day, if you have a spread big that can shoot as good as Gary Trent Jr. can from beyond the arc, you're going to play him. Period. Because at the end
so
of the day,
yeah,
he
I'll
can
say
shrink the
this.
floor.
One of the reasons why Fred VanVleet has played so many minutes is because he can defend at a decent level, actually an elite level for point of attack, except for Maxi apparently. And the other reason is because Gary Trent can't handle those minutes. So Fred is basically off ball this year, but you need someone to be able to take those guard minutes. Both from a defensive standpoint as well as an offensive standpoint.
Lakers
So
lost, by the way. 0-5.
yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Um,
Go ahead.
Amazing. And Cleveland won in the overtime. Um,
Wow. Good for them.
but yeah, I think the other reason is, and James hit my point here, is that both of us think that Gary Trent is, and not only us, many people in the Toronto media community, whatever, think that he is in the prime position to get traded at some point. This season, he has a great contract to get traded. Someone will take his bird rights. I know that some people will say he's an expiring, but he's young, and there's going to be a team that might. And yes, the Lakers are awful, and I love it. So to me, I think that part of the reason why they do play him, and part of the reason why he's in the starting lineup, even though he should probably be on not the starting lineup and not having the second highest usage on the team behind Siakam, which is crazy. Or I think he's either second or third. He might be
That's
second at
crazy if
times,
he is,
which is
yeah.
above Barnes. So if you're a Scottie Barnes fan and you wanted Scottie Barnes to have more usage, you should probably be wanting Gary Trent to have less usage. Um, and I think it's because of them wanting to showcase. Because when you have like a game where last game 11 for 16, Gary looks amazing. Gary looks like a world beater, and that's the type of player that someone's going to trade for him. Just the Lakers. The
What would
problem
you
with
send
sending him
them
to the
to?
Lakers
Yeah.
is just like I had this debate with someone earlier. I don't want anything on the Lakers. Okay, I want nothing to do with those trash players. I'm sorry. Like,
Would you take
like
Westbrook back?
no, because he makes way too much money. He makes $47 million.
But it's an
So you're looking
expiring.
at, but you still have to come up with the amount to get
Right.
up there.
Same
So it's
issue
like,
with like
what am
Conley.
I going to trade Gary and OG to get Westbrook?
No.
Man,
Damn,
salute
he
to the
makes
Lakers for putting
$47
up with
million
this crap.
dollars. He makes $47 million dollars.
Yeah. And he's not taking a buyout. Would you take a buyout? I wouldn't take a buyout.
No, no.
If he takes
I
a buyout, he's going to the Guangdong China Tigers.
facts. Facts. Okay, so no Russ. Like there's nothing on that team. So what if they
Those Laker
give you
picks?
two? I was about to say that 2 first-round picks, Russ, with the centerpiece being obviously
Why are we talking about Russ, man?
that's the guy that literally the guy that they don't want because they blame him
That's
for
their
everything.
problem.
Well, you ain't getting nobody else. I'm just saying, you get rid of Trent, but you bring on an expiring deal and picks, unprotected picks from the Lakers.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
that's kind of
I-
interesting.
I'd feel bad contributing to the Lakers' downfall even further. But I think, beyond that, I just think Russell Westbrook is an extremely difficult contract to trade for. He doesn't, in terms of the Raptors, he wouldn't offer the Raptors really anything of value in terms of like on court, because that man's not going to come off the bench. He's going to pull an AI and be like, "Excuse me, the bench for me," right? So I just
Or
don't
he'll say that
see
his
it.
hamstring's injured because that's what he did with the Lakers. The moment he came
Okay,
off the bench, that his hamstring was hurt.
I'll solve this real quick. Would you want the Kings to trade for Russell
Oh,
Westbrook?
never,
Okay,
never,
there we go.
never. But for two first
If
round
he's not good enough
picks,
for the Kings, he's definitely not good for the Raptors.
so for first, it's just hard to get to $47 million, huh? It's like
It is.
extremely hard to get to $47 million. Ah, you
You'd have
kind
to
of
trade
had.
the whole Raptors bench for like, and then you have no bench. You have no one. You have Gary and the bench, including like probably Precious and Koloko to
James,
get up to that
James.
value.
I didn't even say the Raptors want Westbrook, bro. I'm saying how can they finesse him for two unprotected? Are you not seeing how much of a mess that team is? Imagine having two unprotected picks from the
Some
Lakers.
people, some people are saying that you can't. To quickly go on the Lakers aside, I think it's crazy because some people honestly were arguing with me today that you can't bank on the Lakers being bad then, and I'm like, how are they going to be good? They have no picks. They have no path to picks. So they have no development. They have no bench because they trade away their bench for Russell Westbrook. They have an aging superstar in LeBron James. They have a brokeback superstar in
Mm-hmm.
AD who is made of glass,
Mm-hmm.
who literally gets like steps. This is from someone else, actually Tim Roach. He steps on a mosquito and he and he breaks a knee, right? And then who else? Who is their third best player? Austin Reeves. They're trash,
Right.
and they
So
can't rebuild.
that's why those picks are so interesting to me. I'm like, but how
It
do you
is.
get
They're
to
coming up
47 million
47
though?
million. There you go.
That's hard.
Yeah.
As a
Look,
matter of
I like the
fact,
picks,
well, what
but
what what
damn,
what's it called? The trade website, Fans Pro.
Fanspo,
Let me see.
Fanspo. Yeah.
Fans
Don't do this to
Pro.
yourself. I've
Fa-
tried,
Fans
not with
Pro?
this, but like no.
Is it Fans
Yeah,
Pro?
Fanspo.
Okay, here we
SBO.
go.
Yeah,
Fans
you got it.
Pro. It is like we've never
Okay,
we've
Raptors
never
fans,
done
I
this
do not
live.
condone what Leo is doing. Just know that I don't want Westbrook. We don't want this
Nobody
man.
wants
He can.
Westbrook. Let's make that very. I hate
Westbrook
Westbrook.
is a great father. I will say that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, 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 yes. Facts.
Shout out, and I like him as a person.
40. Me
Which
too.
is talking
47.
about a top quote unquote 75 basketball player of all time. Not great places to start, but yeah, you know what? Yeah, sure.
Trade
I like him
Boucher.
as a person.
Let's trade Boucher. Let's trade.
Why would we trade Boucher for this trash dude?
Because you're
Well,
getting
for
two unprotected picks.
the Raptors draft well already. We don't need their picks, and their picks are for like the only way. Here, okay, I'll give you the three-way trade. Okay, the only way that this works. Okay, the only way that this somehow works is if you have Westbrook ending up on like Utah. Gary ends up for like, or it'd be like a four-team trade. So Westbrook ends up in you know what? I have some form of
What
a
are we
trade.
at? How much money? We still need.
A lot.
No, we're not off by a lot. Let me see. We're at 10 mil.
Yeah, like that's a huge. That's
9,
what
29,
I don't even
35.
think
We're
about
at
Barnes.
12. We're at 12. Duh.
Pat
Come
Bev
on.
would be great off the bench, by the way.
How do you go back?
Shout out to I'm gonna just say Yusuf. It's easier to say your last name.
Adjust the tray. So we're 12 out. Let me see. God, it's so hard to.
This is why he is stuck.
It is stuck.
You could draw this with a bunch of different teams. It's not so okay. I'll give you the trade. I'll give you the trade. The trade is going to be some sort of variation, of Westbrook going to Utah. That is the thing. And then one of like I don't know. Let's say
What does this mean? Like Lucas Nogueira, $8 million.
oh, cap hold.
Does that count as a?
Okay. So here's the funny thing about like
Well, let's try
certain
it.
teams.
Trade to
So
the
no,
Lakers.
you can't. So the thing
No.
is like cap holds are a thing. You can hold on to cap holds, so you have the rights to players that you never let go of. And so, for example, if you scroll down, there is, and this is the
Let's see.
funniest random thing. There's gonna be, what's his name from the Spurs? Please, chat, help us out. The guy from the Spurs
Rudy Gay?
from no, there's a guy from the Spurs from a couple years ago from the Austin Day trade. I can't believe I remember that it was Austin Day, and it's Nando De Colo.
Mm-hmm.
So Nando De Colo, he gets a little like thing in the mail to say like, hey, the Raptors own your free agent rights every single year, and this has been like a 10-year running like thing, right? Because basically, if the Raptors wanted to, they could create more cap space. But the thing is that those cap holds, Nando De Colo, the cap holds add up so much.
Jesus.
Yeah, you see how difficult it is? This is what I'm saying. You have to trade the whole bloody bench.
Yeah.
And some dude that doesn't even play who got waived on the Raptors just to just to get it to work. We do not want we don't want this man.
I'm not saying you. I'm just trying to make get.
I understand what you're doing.
Jesus, it's
I'm
no,
sorry,
no, I'm not.
but
No,
I'm
no,
just
no, no,
saying,
not with you. I'm just
he
shocked with
sucks.
we can't get to $47 million. Fuck.
Yeah.
How do we get?
Yeah, it's really it's upsetting. I feel I feel bad for everyone involved.
Oh my gosh, that is wild.
That's what I'm saying. If do you want him on the Kings? Are you sure? Because
Let's try it. Let's try it. Let me see. Let me see if the
I'm
Kings
joking,
can do
but
it.
go for it.
Let me see if the Kings can do it. Harrison Barnes.
Leo is on a mission today
to match $47 million
to find a trade for Westbrook, and Yusuf. No, he's going to China. Okay. Oh wait, no, you mean Nando De Colo? Nando De Colo, yes, is nice in Europe. Okay.
Fuck. Even these two guys are $30 million. I have to come up with $17 million.
The only trade that makes sense for Westbrook is either him going to the Spurs or Utah, or I suppose for Indiana. But
the Kings can't even make this deal.
That's what I'm saying. He's done. He's stuck. He needs to stay home.
This
that
has
hamstring, just the hamstring needs to stay strong.
This has to be like a 3. It's tough. How do you do it?
I played around with this before, and I think what I ended up doing, and it was with the Raptors. He didn't end up on the Raptors, for the record, but it was like the Raptors ending up with I think Mike Conley or something like that, and the 2 picks, or at least one of the 2 picks, and like Gary Trent going that way. Like that's the only way that it works. Look, if you could somehow end up with Mike Conley and the Lakers picks, sure. I don't think that the Lakers are that desperate yet, and I don't think that would actually end up going down. But if it did, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, even money is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's just I'm in complete shock. Like, God, $47 million is a lot of money.
It's only 1 year too, but it's a tough pill to swallow, man. It's a tough one.
The Lakers did this to themselves, bro. Like it.
Absolutely.
That is insanity. I'm sorry. Right now I'm just trying to process.
You're in shock. You don't know what to do with yourself.
I don't.
Like,
I don't. I'm just like, what do I do? Okay, so let's wrap it up. Going back to the game. I guess, again, 112-90 was the final score. Tyrese Maxey, 40 minutes, 44 points. The guy just torched, and he's a Raptors torch, man. Great game tonight. 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 9 of 12. How do you allow 9? That's terrible. I'm sure the film session will not be nice tomorrow. But Siakam, again, 26 and 10. Another double-double for the man that may make the All-NBA team, which is not a good thing for the Raptors because then he's going to get the super max. So obviously a different topic for a different show. 5 turnovers, way too much for my liking. Just to kind of go over what we talked about. OG played a lot better tonight in terms of just overall. I know he was a -12, but always going to give you his heart on defense. 207 from beyond the arc, 19 points, 9 rebounds. Pretty solid if you ask me. Scottie
I figured out the
Barnes.
trade, by the way.
Oh, what is it? What is it? All right.
Okay. Sorry. Continue on.
Okay. No, what is it? Now I'm dying to know.
Okay. This is a wild trade. I don't even know if this would happen, but the Raptors get Mike Conley.
Okay.
Jazz get Russell Westbrook. The Raptors would also get the Lakers 2 picks, or a pick, and the Jazz would get the other pick, both unprotected. The Lakers would get Kem Birch, Malik Beasley, Gary Trent, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That's the only way to make it work.
Hey, say the players again.
I'm gonna snapshot this and I'm gonna send you it. I'm gonna share this with you, my friend.
So
Hold
Beasley
on a
makes
second.
15.
After this, I never want to hear Russell Westbrook and Raptors in the same sentence for the rest of my days.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody doesn't like him. I mean, I've been hating on him even when his MVP years.
There you go.
Birch, Malik, Gary, Nickeil.
I didn't include the picks, but like obviously because that doesn't matter. But yeah.
I don't think they give up the picks for these players, bro.
Well, that's their problem.
I don't think any of these players are better than Miles Turner, if I'm being completely honest.
I would say that Gary Trent and Miles Turner are pretty close to it's a lateral move for the Raptors. If the Raptors traded for Miles Turner, I like Miles Turner, but like because of the injury stuff, like that's a concern, right? So like that's the thing. If the Lakers have Miles Turner, but he's injury prone, then how does that help AD? It doesn't help AD, right? And then you're in the same problem. That's why I said like if even the best trade for the Lakers that everyone keeps touting is for the Pacers. To do that deal and then for them to trade one of the picks. I do not think that the Lakers should trade their last 2 picks. I think that that is a mistake. I think that they will miss out on the chance to get Freudian slip, Kyrie. And I think it's a huge mistake because I don't think that they're going to be good enough even with Miles Turner and with Buddy Hield to still make the playoffs. They might be a play-in team at that point, and even then, they're still going to be
they'll
trash.
be a play-in team, yeah, for sure. They'll for sure be a playing team, yeah.
Right. So is that
I'm not
worth
giving
it?
up those picks though. For Birch, no disrespect to that man. For Malik, who I love, Gary, who I don't, and Nickeil,
But you
who
know
I
what?
love.
I'll tell you who would do it, LeBron, because you want to know why? Because Gary Trent is a clutch client.
Yeah, but even LeBron, well, maybe.
Now
But
you're thinking about it, you're like, man, it's a bonus on the side. Oh,
yeah,
sorry, we're not supposed to talk about
right.
that,
You're right.
right?
Oh man, that's
I'm not a
interesting.
Westbrook hater, by the way, Yusuf.
I am.
The thing
I
is
am.
that what? Yeah, you are.
I am. Yeah, I am.
Westbrook's issue is ego, and he hasn't changed the way that he has played. Ever.
Never will. Never
It has
has.
gotten him to this point, but also it's why he struggles. He is a bad fit with LeBron, and he is a tough guy to build around. So, yeah.
Chris Boucher today had 8 points, 3 of 6. Banton 9 minutes. It's hard to get any true rhythm when you only play 9 minutes. So when people say, "Oh, this bench sucks," I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, I feel like Banton doesn't get like a long leash to even prove himself because it's hard for any player to go into a game 9 minutes and be like make an impact. You know what I mean? Like it's rough because basketball is literally rhythm and timing. So that's that. Again, not a good night for the Raptors. 3-3, 2-1 at home. They are no longer undefeated at home. The Sixers needed this win. 2-4, 1-2 away. What's next for the Raptors? Let's check.
Atlanta is the next game, and then the Spurs, I believe.
Atlanta,
Ooh,
10:31.
see, I do pay attention. I do pay attention, people. And then the Cavs again.
Oof.
So Atlanta, the Spurs.
They could fall. They could fall to 3-5.
Oh, I mean, they're not the Kings.
That's true. They're much better than the Kings. They're much
so
better.
I don't think that they're going.
But they
to.
could fall through.
Kings, by the way.
But they they effing suck. But they could fall through. Realistically speaking, the Hawks are playing well right now. Although they haven't really played anybody, but man, like, are Raptor fans gonna throw themselves into the river of Toronto if
I mean, it's a lake, so.
Or the Lake of Toronto if it's a lake. It's a lake. Y'all ain't got the beaches like we do in California, man. Stop it. Yes. I don't know, man. The 3-5 is not crazy to say. Best probably 4-4, but
I wouldn't panic either way. I don't think that they are going to be 3-5, but I wouldn't panic because at the end of the day, this is like the hardest stretch of their season. And they just started off with the hardest stretch of their season, right? So, if they can,
you sound like a Kings fan, bro. Oh well, the Kings face the Warriors, the Grizzlies, and the Clippers, and I'm like, yeah.
Except they actually competed in their games, but if
they did, they did.
Like,
but they lost. So like, you're right.
They did.
It's an 82
they shouldn't
game
have lost
season.
To the Nets, though. I'll say that they really shouldn't have lost that Nets game.
Yeah.
That was rough. They got down bad, but again, they're fighting. See, the thing is that why would I act like the Raptors are totally discombobulated and don't have a good chemistry when they've competed, fought hard for each other like brothers every single game, right? Win or lose, they've done that. When they've been down, they fought back. And not every team does that. And that's something that I look for is, do they give up or do they not give up? Look, if a team comes to the fight, they get punched in the mouth and they punch back, Fair enough. Right?
Right. So to your point, James, yes, and I know sources tell me that close to that situation, LeBron actually won Westbrook, which is freaking crazy to me. Because
I don't have sources, and I can tell that move didn't get done without LeBron.
Because both LeBron and AD, by the way, but because they had that deal done for Kuzma, a pick. It was Montrezl Harrell, Kuzma for Buddy Hield, and that was done. It was reported by Woj, and then Shams came out and said, "Oh no, they're going with Russ." And we're just like, "What the?" So definitely LeBron's deal. But yeah, bro. I mean, this guy is saying that we're Westbrook haters for sure. I mean,
you are.
Facts.
I hope for the best for him. Okay, I really do, but I just don't. It reminds me. It's going to be a faster decline than Melo. I remember my friend. I'm not going to say who, but I have a friend that suggested
because he can't shoot though,
and I'm like, Melo doesn't help us
at all. No. He's a taller Gary Trent Jr. Who's even worse defensively, by the way. So no.
Yeah, but when he wears that hoodie.
Oof. You put Hoodie Melo on the Raps? I might have to think about that one.
So to preview the next couple games, I just feel like they will win it against Atlanta. I think that Atlanta has distinct flaws in the roster. I do like their move. I really wish that the Raptors got DeJounte Murray. I've said it so many times. I really wish that they got him, but they didn't, and that's okay. But moving forward, I think that they'll, 5-2 isn't possible, but they can still get to 5 wins before they get to 5 losses.
It's a tough schedule. I'll give you that. Actually, let's preview it. So they got Cleveland, at Brooklyn, Sorry, no. Atlanta, at San Antonio, at Dallas. They struggle against Dallas. Chicago. That should be a win, but it's a split. It's a back-to-back. See,
I like these
who the hell
back-to-back.
made like? Yeah, but like not traveling wise.
Yeah, not traveling wise, but I do like the back-to-backs only because kind of like a little mini series. I'll preview the Chicago back-to-back. We'll see about, and I will preview. I'll do a recap of Cleveland.
Okay.
So, chat, stay tuned for that.
Atlanta and San Antonio. Oh, so it's not Cleveland. Like you said, they were gonna face Cleveland and Atlanta.
No. I said Atlanta, Spurs, and then I said Cleveland.
Oh yeah. I mean,
which is what it is, right?
no, they don't play.
Oh no, sorry, it's Dallas. It's Dallas.
Oh, so see,
Sorry, my bad.
He was trying to set me up. I'm like, I might go 3-5, but now they'll for sure at worst go to like 4-4.
Sorry, I've been doing this from memory.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So Atlanta. I don't
but
know.
We're still not afraid of Cleveland, just so you know. Like, I mean, come on. Did you not see how much Garland was struggling before he went out with his eye injury?
Yeah, but Cleveland just beat the Celtics tonight, so I don't know, man. It's gonna be a tough one. And typically teams don't like to sweep because they're very competitive. But yes, that was all, guys. We broke down the entire game for you guys tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Whoever watches this, I'm sure Kenyon will share it on the Raptors groups.
Already been shared. Yep.
Well, let's do it, man. He's a triple-double machine. So, guys, stop being so harsh. I can't tell if he's being facetious or not. I'm just like...
Hey, man. We all need fans.
On behalf of the entire Raptor community, we thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.